What's going on, guys? It's Crypto Dave here at Top Tier Signals. Welcome back to our weekly series where we take a look at some of the major tickers, perform some analysis, find some trade setups, and ultimately understand where we sit in terms of financial markets. And guys, if you enjoy this type of content, we do these market updates every single week. You can subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of those. And if you want to join our Discord, you can do so with the description down below and see what Top Tier Signals has to offer you as you better your trading journey. Without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Starting with NVIDIA, this is the best performing US stock over the last 2 years, especially considering large caps. It has really propped up the stock market, some of our major indices like the S&P 500, as well as the NASDAQ 100, and some of those indices. And so we really need to talk about just how much of a market bubble this specific stock looks like. If we compare it to just a typical market cycle cheat sheet, we can see that we are clearly in a thrill or euphoria sort of stage, right? You get that recovery, it turns into some optimism, belief, people are buying up these small dips after breaking all-time highs, and then it's clearly just off to the races. And what worries me here is, despite all the positive earnings reports, the projections and revenue growth, we are simply looking at a stock that will not slow down. And I'm worried here that we are getting to a point where we are too reliant upon NVIDIA, we are too optimistic, and ultimately people are going to get trapped out where they do not need to be. This is where the optimism is the highest. This is where everyone is euphoric. Everyone is on the same page that NVIDIA is the one. NVIDIA is where you need to be. And it's generally these periods of time where we see that subtle change of hands before things start to move lower. So from a technical perspective, we've got to note this bearish divergence that we have here on the RSI. We set in a higher weekly high here in June of 2024, and we stuck in a lower high on the indicator. And now RSI divergence is a very clean signal. It is much more prudent when it occurs on higher time frames. So we have to be aware of this. This looks like it could be a relief rally coming back up to these range highs. Perhaps not now, but at some point, the longer we keep off to the races with no signs of slowing down, the more concerning it is just simply from a price action perspective, right? NVIDIA as a company is very solid. Their revenue projections are great. Their earnings reports have been blowing it out of the water. This company is doing very, very well, but it only takes one major miss or one projection that shows a slowdown in growth and revenue and earnings for people to really start to panic. And so I worry at these elevated values, without any sort of slowdown, that there are going to be a lot of people getting trapped out. So this is the main thing I want to watch here in the stock market is NVIDIA. Whether or not it's going to be a bubble, we will have to see, but the weekly time frame is starting to look very weak. We came back up, we didn't even set in an equal high, let alone a higher high, and we are clearly starting to fall back down. And we can see this even better on the daily time frame. So if we are to roll over, at least temporarily, I'm going to be taking a look at this this $97 level. This was a clear level of resistance here in the past, acted as a level of support here in early August. This would be a level that I would watch if we are in fact going to roll over, which I do think we are. We are unable to find that strength to set in these new highs. In my opinion, I think NVIDIA is just way too overvalued, and we are going to have to see some sort of major corrective action. If not now, then later. Moving over to Bitcoin, things are also not super promising here. We took a look at this $58,000 to $60,000 range. This was a previous level of resistance in the 2021 bull market. It was acting as support for about 5 months, and we did get a monthly close for the month of August within this range of support, but it was very weak. There's just not a lot of strength here on the monthly time frame. And if we're considering key levels on the monthly time frame, there's really no significant level until $45,000 for Bitcoin. It is very possible that Bitcoin is about to move lower. However, if we do want to break it down to the 4-hour time frame and look a little bit closer, we are sitting at a previous range low. We are coming off of some nice bullish divergence in this oversold territory on the RSI. It is very clear that we might be in for some short-term relief. We can use our Fibonacci's here to gauge some targets. So we're going to draw it from the high to the low. And we could take a look at this 0.618 level. It's very much in line with a previous range high here, around $62,000. So we should be watching for as high as $62,000 on a relief rally. But ultimately here, and we're just going to come right back out to the daily time frame, there is just not a lot of strength from a market structure perspective. We set this all-time high back in mid-March, and we were not able to set any sort of significant high beyond that. As a matter of fact, we were setting lower high after lower high. If we take a look at our 21 and 50-day exponential moving average cloud, we can see that there's no clear general trend, there's no directional bias. We have been unable to sustain the 21 trading above the 50, as well as the cloud acting as support. Every single time that we have broken beyond the cloud in the past few months, we have not been able to sustain beyond it. And this happened again just last week. We got back above this cloud, we hit a bearish order block, we saw a textbook bull trap play out, and we've deviated back into a previous trading range. I just don't think that Bitcoin looks strong here. I think that at the very least, we're going to come down to this order block around $52,000. This could be a key level for buyers to try to defend. If not, we're going to be paying attention to that monthly level around $45,000 for Bitcoin. So I would definitely keep your eyes out. Make sure your cash is on the sideline. Don't be too quick to dollar cost average, because there is just not any sort of strength at these high ranges, at the $60,000 level, up to the $70,000 level. Every single time we are getting that weakness, the bulls have less strength each time. Sellers are taking control at lower and lower prices. This is not what you want to see. So if you've got some cash, I would recommend setting some limit orders. Try to play the DCA strategically. And don't be too overzealous with your capital, but keep an eye on this $52,000 range for Bitcoin, because if not, it is very likely we are going as low as $45,000 for Bitcoin. And again, this is not to scare anybody, but we are taking a technical approach. We are looking at things at an unbiased perspective so that we can be prepared to play this to the best way possible. Moving on over to Ethereum, there is clearly a lack of strength here. We lost a key level of support right around this $2,800 level. We saw it retest perfectly as a level of resistance where we got a strong rejection, once again back into our trading range. And so for me, I am looking at this $2,160 level for me to start buying more Ethereum. I would even consider buying this range right here around $2,350. But again, you're going to want to play the support levels as opposed to trying to mindlessly buy in the middle of these ranges. It's very clear that there is a lack of strength in the crypto market right now. We could be entering a reaccumulation phase, which can be very advantageous to careful, longer-term investors, but we have to play these key levels. We had a clear rejection from a previous level of support. Also in line with our daily cloud, it is very likely that we are going to at least roll over to this order block. We have the potential to set in some bullish divergence here. We have this little oversold blurb on the RSI. We could potentially come back down to the order block, set in a higher low on the RSI, and get a very nice buying opportunity for Ethereum, but we are going to have to be patient and let price bleed out and do that. So again, I think you are safe to dollar cost average in the lower bound of this range where Ethereum is already trading, but you're going to want to keep that cash sidelined. You're going to want to be very strategic with your risk management and how you deploy that capital. For me, I think $2,100, $2,150 is going to be a really great buying opportunity for those who are patient. Moving over to Sol, this is actually one that has kept up quite well. Most cryptocurrencies have been slowly making their way down, whereas Solana has simply been caught in this parallel range. So there's been a lot of strength here on Solana. We do need to note the support level here right around $120 for Solana. This was a clear level of resistance back in December of 2023, and it has propped us up for about 6 months now. Ever since early March, we've had about 6 retests of this level. Now, the more you test a level of support and resistance, the weaker it tends to be. So we do need to be very careful here. If Solana is going to bleed out to the $120 range, this could be a nice opportunity for a quick trade setup, but there's also a greater likelihood than ever before that this level does not hold. And now if that is the case, I am personally going to be taking a look at about this $80 level right around here. This was a previous range low back in January of 2024, and this could be a very nice discount opportunity if you were patient enough once again. And the key here is that there's just not a lot of strength. We've been able to hold an equal low for months now, but we've been doing it on lower high after lower high. The bulls have not been able to take Solana to new heights. Sellers are coming in at lower levels and taking control from buyers. We saw it here over the past couple of weeks at this $160 level, about the middle of our last 6 months of price action. There's just not a lot of strength. I really do think we are going to have to test some lower levels, shake out some weak hands even more, get that capitulatory price action, get that desperation and that fear really coming back into the market. And when there's most pain in the market, where pain is the highest and people are really feeling it, they're stressing it, that is where those buying opportunities come in. So again, I don't think that you have to avoid your dollar cost average. You don't have to avoid buying a discount such as this, but you should be mindful of the fact that we have a great potential to go even lower. I would keep cash on the sidelines and wait for some of those lower levels before you start aggressively adding to your bags. And once again, we do these updates every week on the channel. If you tick the little notification bell, you will get notified every single Monday when we put these videos out. So as this price action plays out, we are going to be able to update you every single week on our strategy here on the channel and where we plan to build these bags and actually deploy that cash when the time is right. That is the main thing when it comes to trading or even short-term investing, is understanding that you don't always have to be in the trade. You don't always have to have money in the mix. You can always wait. There's always going to be an opportunity. If you are careful, if you stick to that strategy, you're going to have success more often than not. So I think that this is a good spot to pick up a little bit more SOL. If you are building that long-term bag, I would not get too aggressive just yet. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this week's market update. Let me know what you think of some of these major tickers. Where are you looking to buy your assets? What trades are you taking right now? You can subscribe to the channel, tick the little bell. You'll get notified every time we post a video. And if you guys want to better your trading skills and learn how to become a better trader, you can join our Discord today and inquire about what we have to offer here at TTS. And until the next video, I'll catch you guys in the Discord. Peace.